Bibliophools.
I like your hat, Mac. I just think it's cool. Your
Thank
fit. Oh, Mac was throwing a fit today.
Were you
I was throwing a fit today.
That's what they say on TikTok when someone dresses nice.
Ah.
Because it's a
I, was
fit.
I did throw in a fit. You guys want to see the fit?
Yeah, man. I
Let's
like
see
the
it.
green shirt and the beige hat.
Oh my god.
Dude was
Or some
throwing
khakis.
a legit
Wait
fit
till I
today.
show you my shoe. Oh my god. Hold on.
I
I
can't
hope
wait.
it's a shoe phone.
My
Yeah.
god.
It
Give me
matches my
strength.
shirt. It was
Do you
pretty
dress
good.
yourself?
Huh?
I don't believe you dress yourself. I think someone dressed you. That's how good that fit is.
I wish. It'd be so
Oh.
much nicer than the 2 hours of anxiety that I went through of just being like, it's not good enough. I had a bunch of clothes that fit very well, and I was very comfortable. I was like, no, you look like shit.
Well, however it happened, it all really came together. Let me tell you, you look the best you've ever looked. Absolutely incredible, McKylan Rowe. Well, welcome to Bibliophools, where we read books so you don't have to. I'm Evan Cannell, here with the impeccably dressed McKylan Rowe. And we're delighted to be joined by a very special guest today, Andy Great. He's here.
Hey guys, it's me, Andy Gray. Are you ready to take your fitness, money, and your romantic associations to the next level? If so, this is not the show for you. If you're looking for a 30-day coaching program, keep looking, friend. See, if 30 years of being Andy Gray has taught me one thing, it's that your life is not there. It's right here in the bottom, the peach. It's at the core of the peach. That's the next thing to do in your life, and that's what I do. I hope things go well for you. These three gentlemen read books, so you don't have to. Oh, dadgummit, you just get comfortable, settle in, put your arms down, squish your cheeks together. Get ready, because Andy Great says we got a great show. This was dumb. I messed it up.
That was
No.
so perfect. If you would have
That
just
was
landed
perfect.
the plane, it was right there.
Okay. Now I'm shy. Get comfortable. Who knows what might happen? This is Bibliopools after all. And it's great, guys. You're proud. You're doing so good. I'm so proud of you. I know life is hard. But dadgummit, you're doing proud. I'm so damn proud of you. You're bringing a tear to my eye. I'm gonna go dance. I'm gonna go dance in the rain, because that's what Andy Gray does. That's great. I'll talk to you later. Bye now.
That's perfect.
That's it.
Yep.
That's the one.
Kyle.
My god.
I hate myself.
Oh, Kyle. Hey, buddy. You just missed Andy Great.
You know, I saw him in the hall and he gave me $1,000 just for no reason.
Really?
Isn't that-
All of your house?
Yeah, like he was in my house and I wasn't even mad, and he gave me $1,000 as I was coming in here. I'm sorry I missed him. He's a great guy, that Andy Great.
What a great guy. Well, let's get into today's book now that Kyle's here.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Thanks for I hope someday we can say thank you to Andy Great for all
Oh,
that he's done for us. But
Oh.
Kyle, it's nice to have you.
I think he knows.
Oh, okay.
Well, today's book is The Stranger. In the French, La Rétrangère.
Is that really how it's said in French?
Nope, definitely not. It's a famous novella written by Albert. It's actually Albert. That
Albert.
one is right. Albert Camus.
Albert Camus.
Albert
No.
Camus.
Camus.
First published in 1942, the story is centered on Meursault, an indifferent French Algerian who shortly after his mother's funeral kills an unnamed Arab in Algiers. The novella is structured in two parts, presenting Meursault's first-person narrative before and after the killing. The novel is a landmark work of existentialism and absurdism. It explores themes such as the absurdity of life, the indifference of the universe, and the breakdown of traditional moral values. Kyle, in case our listeners didn't already know, this is a Kyle book. Why this
Yeah.
one, bud?
I like philosophy, and this one, you know, people talk about this one a lot. They say, "Oh, it's interesting. It's a fresh take on something," and it, you know, it's talked about enough as a philosophical novel that I thought we'd give it a shot. I'm like, I have to read this book in my lifetime, so that's why I chose it. Do I regret choosing it? Listen and find out.
Nice.
You do
Good tease.
regret.
I regret it a little. Actually, I don't. Not as much as I did initially, but yeah, I chose it because it's interesting. People talk about it. It's an interesting book for sure.
Wait, okay, so this is a question for me. Do people talk about it? Is this like a thing?
In
I've
philosophical circles, yeah. Have you guys not heard of it?
Never heard of
Never.
this. I've heard of The
Really?
Stranger, the thing that
The
is
hand thing.
you
Yeah.
sit on your hand until it falls asleep, and then you masturbate with your hand while it's asleep.
This is the book version of exactly what you just described, just in French.
Weirdly,
It's
it is.
exactly
It
what
is.
is that a real thing? I don't remember hearing about that in junior high that you sit on your hand.
I'm about 60% sure that I heard it from you.
I w That's weird even for me. That's weird even for 15-year-old me.
Man, are you sure that your philosophical circles that's not what they're talking about?
Can we not talk about this anymore?
Yeah, let's get back to the book. Well, Kyle, I'm with Mac. I have never one time heard this book mentioned, but I'm glad we read it. Me specifically.
In terms of philosophy, people talk about it because it's a good example of existentialism and absurdism, and it really encapsulates those two ideas very well. Even though Camus very much said he's like it's not an existential novel. He's like don't apply that to me, but still people put it in that category. And if you're interested in those kind of things, then yeah, I guess you've heard about this book. I guess it just gauges your I don't know. I like pretentious things, and so I've heard about this book a lot. It's not a good thing.
I think this is just a bad book that I didn't like.
Okay, I
But
appreciate
I
that.
don't think that you're pretentious.
No, you like the deeper things.
I like
You're
the
not
deeper
ashamed.
things. I'm not ashamed of
Sure.
that. It's just who I am. Am I better than everyone because of it? Yeah, like 100%.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
for sure.
For sure, like,
Not in a pretentious way.
but I'm just
No.
like, it's just a fact I'm better than most people.
No, it's like most people are human bags of trash, and you're above them.
I'm like a bird eating that trash.
You're like a bird trying to fly away.
Do you know where your home is? Okay, we got to stop. The novel unfolds in French colonial Algiers in the 1940s, where the sun is merciless. The sea beckons, and life unfolds in small, mundane details that hide the weight of existential questions.
They don't. Not in this book. I don't know what that means.
Did you not get that? My problem with this book, and I'll say it now, is that I get what it's trying to say. I think it communicates it very well. I just disagree.
Oh, you know, I can't wait to settle on different sides of the fence here, and it's my mission over the next 12 bullet points to convince you that
12?
this is
You
one
said
of
12?
the best books I've ever read. Yeah.
I'm glad you liked it. I do have a question about the novel Algiers for my lack of. That's in Africa, isn't it?
Yeah, Northern Africa.
Northern
this is
Africa.
a colony.
That was also news to me. I did not picture the characters. Anyways,
He's not.
Yeah.
The character is very much not African.
he's not, right?
No, he's
No.
a French, just
He's
a
French.
basic French dude, cigarette for breakfast type of guy.
That's a colonialist. Okay.
Yeah.
Yes. So that's where they are, which I learned that after reading it. So the Arab that keeps popping up and is a central figure, that was his place. And
Yeah.
I think that's important to know. It's a little bit different, I think, thinking about it that way. Well, let's get into cast of characters here. We have Merceau, main character, the emotionally detached protagonist who narrates in a plain, matter-of-fact tone. His indifference to social norms and feelings defines the story. You have Maman, who is a corpse from the beginning of the book, but this is Merceau's recently deceased mother whose funeral opens the novel. And then you have Marie Cardona, Marceau's lover, affectionate and joyful, offering him an unconditional love he cannot fully reciprocate. And Raymond Sintez. I think it's Raymond. Raymond Sinta. Nope, Santa. I wrote it out and then I didn't read it
It's fine.
off of what I wrote.
It's okay.
Raymond Santa.
Everybody loves Raymond.
Everybody loves him, and they don't because he might be a pimp and he's definitely an asshole.
And he definitely beats women.
It definitely beats the shit out of women. Okay, so
Yes.
if we're doing a quick casting, but this is a fascinating book. If we're doing casting, I would say Javier Bardem for Marceau.
Okay, yes, I see that.
Because there's not an age assigned, but like he has a mom who's died.
He's
and, like,
younger.
the
I think he's supposed to be younger. Like
It was a little ambiguous. I
Okay.
think Javier Bardem 10 years ago works great.
yeah, I think Javier Bardem's about as good as it's gonna get for this
Yeah.
character.
I feel like
Um,
this is a Javier Bardem. Like this is like an artistic, like Spanish movie that we never got to see.
Because we don't
Yeah.
speak Spanish.
Among other reasons.
Javier Bardem's great casting. Wow, good job.
Who plays the corpse of his mom?
I think the mom should be played by Mac's mom in It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia, and the lady who played Napoleon Dynamite's aunt. That lady.
Incredible.
I think that is who it should be.
All of that.
All right.
Who are we doing for Marie?
What's that girl in Inception? She's already French.
Yeah, that's perfect. Yes, Marianne Cotillard.
Marianne
that would
Cotillard. Perfect.
I don't know how to say her name with the actual letters in it. I'm just hoping.
I think you landed close. Not
Marianne
close enough
Cotillard.
for the French, but you'll never be enough for the French.
Raymond.
All right. Raymond Santa. Who's the guy who plays he's in Lawless. He's like the crazy brother in Lawless, and he's in Great Gatsby.
He's also in Planet of the Apes
What
too.
can I do? Yeah, Jason Clarke.
He wasn't even in The Great Gatsby.
He was. He's the one who shot Great Gatsby.
No,
he's the
not.
mechanic. He's married
He's
to
specifically the man who shot Leonardo
Look it up on
DiCaprio.
IMDb. That's Joel something.
Joel Edgerton plays Daisy's husband.
Oh, it's been a while. It's been a while since I saw that
We
movie.
saw that in theaters. I remember us all being so excited and just like the silent car ride.
Exactly. Yeah, that's the last time I saw that movie.
I watch it all the time. I love that movie. So, we're going to disagree on things in this episode.
As we should. I do find something interesting that like because we talked about this, like texted about it. Me and Kyle immediately were like, "Fuck this book. We don't. This is not." Kyle was a little softer on it. I don't like it, but Evan was like, "This is awesome."
I wouldn't say F this book as much as I'd say I just like I don't agree with it. I think it's wrong. I think the message is fundamentally wrong, which is probably more frustrating than F this book.
I love it. Okay. Well, the novel opens with Meursault receiving news of his mother's death. At her funeral, his emotional detachment, smoking, drinking coffee, commenting on the heat rather than mourning, and his lack of tears strikes others as cold and unfeeling.
It's also a very sad funeral because his old mother was like had a low-key engaged to this old guy. And he's just like struggling to not die during this funeral, and Meursault he couldn't care less. He couldn't care. He appears that he does not care what's going on. He's just like, man, it sure is hot out. I wish I had more coffee, and it gives a weird impression.
It's weird. It's supposed to strike you as odd.
It's supposed to feel uncomfortable. His reactions are kind of like, "What are you doing, dude?" That's the impression I got.
Everything's off.
Everything is off, but it's supposed to feel. It's supposed to be that way.
Yeah, it hits you weird.
Yeah, it's weird
at the beginning. He is drinking cafe au
Cafe
au lait. There we go. Which is ice cream with coffee. Oh, that was fun.
Is that what that is? I thought he was just drinking coffee the whole time.
Oh, it's coffee with milk.
Okay, interesting.
Is it milk?
Like it's like a bad latte where you just pour coffee and milk.
It makes more sense that it's milk because he's drinking it at the funeral home of the old folks. But I don't think they have an ice cream machine there. I don't think the Undertaker's like, hey man, we got a soft serve machine over here. Check it out. He's like, your dead mom's here.
There's a whole page about how they're like, it's so crazy. He had coffee, and then like this other guy had coffee, and then like they slept, and then he had coffee. It goes on for too long for me to think like there's some soft serve coming in.
He gets there and he smokes, and the Undertaker's like, "You want to see your mom? Should I open the casket?" He's like, "No, that's okay." And he's like, "You want coffee with ice cream?" Anyways, that's how it goes.
And he's like, "Yeah, I'll take that. I'll take the coffee with definitely ice cream that you have here."
Yeah,
in
exactly.
The 1940 Algeria. I don't know. But yeah, it's weird that he's just like, yeah, I don't want to see my mom. And he's just like, okay, cool, let's have coffee instead. Normal stuff.
Just how you are at funerals, exactly.
Yeah.
Well, the next day, Meursault returns to work and begins a romance with Marie, an old coworker. They go swimming. They go see a comedy. They get handsy. They go back to his apartment. Sex stuff ensues.
Like in the script, it says "sex ensues." Could you have written it in a less sexy way?
No, it's a French book, dude.
This is like the most sensual thing that we've read, I would say. 50 Shades wasn't very
We read
sensual.
50
Yeah, I'm like, what are
But
you
it
talking
wasn't
about?
sensual.
You skipped all the sex scenes, okay? Don't you dare.
I'm just saying it's not like sensual. Like this was this is like a sexy
It's true.
Yeah,
representation. Like
no.
he's just talking about his desires. Like 50 Shades would be like, I desire this, I desire that. And then I took her pants off. Like it's not the same.
He's like, and then I
Yes.
spanked her harder than I should have, and that's the whole damn book. 50 Shades of Grey.
That's the plot.
You're right. This book, it like
It's a
there's
different thing.
there's build up to it. They swim together. There's romance, and then sex ensues. So, I didn't choose this book because it has 1 or 2 sexual scenes, very minor, but it's a French book, so why not? Why is it not? It should be more steamy. That's what I'd imagine. You ever seen a
Yeah,
French
it wasn't
film?
enough.
It's like 90% nudity.
They love boobs. Which, let them, you know? Boobs are great.
Let them eat cake. Let them drink milk. That's what I say.
Let them drink cafe au lait.
Cafe au lait.
And thus begins their relationship after the sex. It becomes a relationship, which is great. Good for them. Again, his emotions are shallow. When Marie asks if he loves her, he simply says, it doesn't mean anything, but I don't think so.
So
It's a weird response.
he gives her the worst possible answer. He could have just said no, but I don't know.
She also later is like, can you ask me to marry you? And he's like, I mean, sure, I guess. Whatever. Fine.
And then she's like, would you marry me if I was someone else? He's like, I don't know. Maybe. Probably. I don't know.
It's not great. It's not
Yeah.
how the ladies like to be talked to. So I hear.
So you hear. So let's get to Raymond. In a book about a guy who kills someone, Raymond is the worst character.
True.
And everybody does love him.
But everybody does love him for some reason, especially the women who he pimps out and beats the crap out of.
Yeah. Merceau loves him for no reason.
Well, he's
They're
not-
just neighbors.
He's not a pimp, is he?
It's ambiguous.
Yeah.
It's implied that
Yeah.
he's a pimp.
I thought he was like a money collector.
I think that's his day job. I think maybe he's not doing that great as a pimp. He's getting going. He's a hustler. and
He's
hustling.
got 1 or 2 girls laying down tricks, and he's not making money because they're dudes, and they're not convincing. They're not convincing women.
Well, Raymond asks for a favor, and he does it really weird. He's like, "Hey, you'll do me a favor, right?" And Merceau's like, "I mean, sure."
He says, doesn't he keep saying, he's like, we're pals, right? And Merceau's
We're
like,
pals.
Well, he
I
would like
guess.
describe all these horrible. He'd be like, "This is what happened. I beat the shit out of my girlfriend, and she was being super weird about it. We're friends, right? You heard what I said, and like we're friends now because I told you what I told you." And Marcel would be like, "Yeah, man.
yeah, he makes Merceau so uncomfortable that he's just like, yeah, I guess we're friends.
Would you tell like my girlfriend that I beat the shit out of like to come back to my house?" And he'd be like, "Yeah."
Yeah, so he helps him write a letter because Raymond's like, I don't really know. How do you tell someone to come back so that you can pretend to try to make it all better so that you can then humiliate her and beat her again to punish her for walking out on you, which is like just a horrible, terrible thing to do. And he's like, can you help me write that letter? And Rousseau's like, I mean, yeah, sure. Let's bang it out. Let's do it. You got paper?
So why
He
yeah,
kinda
why
just
can't
does whatever people ask of him.
he does? No, he totally does. Why can't Raymond write this letter for himself? Is he illiterate?
He's not a good writer.
Yeah, he's like, I don't know how to make it sound convincing.
He's like, because I
So-
don't care for people's feelings. How do I pretend like I do on paper? And Merceau's like, I can do it. They're pals.
Yep.
They're
So
just
that's
good
what
pals.
happens.
They're pals. They are pals.
They're pals.
We're pals,
Again.
right?
This is very important. They're pals.
This is where I wrote a note. I did like a little highlight on my Kindle, and I wrote, and I was like, main character's a bad person.
Once he totally is just like, yeah, whatever, man. I'll
Yeah, sure.
I'll bring this girl back so you can beat her again.
I was thinking this while I was reading it. When, Evan, you said this guy doesn't give a fuck.
Yeah,
No,
When
it was
did you
about
send that?
then. I was like, this guy doesn't care about anything. Yep. Well, the plan backfires, unsurprisingly.
Their great
Raymond-
plan.
And we are hard serving it a little bit. He doesn't beat the crap out of her initially. I think like we have kind of rewritten history. She is running around on him Also, important to note, she's an Arab. So this is her place that the French Algerian are in. And I don't think he's like super kind to her, but he really hasn't beat her so much as just, I think he like accuses her. And then she's like, how dare you? And then she leaves. And then he's like, hey, get her, write this letter, get her back here. I'm going to pretend that we're like making up. And then just so I can like, serve it to her even more, humiliate her, and then kick her out. He just didn't feel like, when you like have an argument and then later on you're like, you know what I should have said? I should have said that. So he's trying to get her back to like do that, to basically like have the last word. But when that happens, she slaps him and then he beats the shit out of her.
Yeah.
And that's not great. Maria is over and they're like, whoa, holy. And the cop is awesome.
The cop is great.
The cop's great. He's like, what's going on here? And Raymond's like, well, domestic abuse. Sorry, it won't happen again. And the cop like smacks him. He like smacks his cigarette. He's like, don't talk to me. Don't smoke when you talk to me. Go pick that up. No, turn around. You stupid.
And I thought it was great, but then I find out like the cop's not mad at him because he's beating this girl. The cop's mad at him because he's talking to him with a cigarette in his mouth, and that's disrespectful. So that's a little disappointing, but can't have everything in French Algeria, I guess.
He does slap him, though.
He does slap him.
Is awesome.
Which was satisfying.
So in the following days, though, after that, Raymond notices his mistress's brother following him around. And he's always got another Arab with him. And his paranoia is starting to mount. And he's talking to Meursault about it. He's like, I'm worried about these guys.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess they're hanging out more, him and Meursault. They start becoming actual pals. And when he beats her, when Raymond beats her and the cops get called, Meursault is with Marie. And they come out to see what's happening. And I think Marie's like, do we do anything? And Meursault's like, nah. Like, it's not our business. Like, that was the impression I got. Every chance he has to show that he has a backbone, he doesn't. And that's his prerogative, I guess. What do you guys think about the fact that I just used the word prerogative?
I loved it.
Good use of prerogative.
That's great. It sounded good.
Thanks.
I'll be honest. This is the part of the book where I was just like, what is this about? What are we... This is dragging on. And I'm like, you guys know me. How do I get in here? How do I make this about me? Nothing. There's nothing. There's nothing here.
I feel nothing. Wow. You were right. How very Meursault.
Wow.
Existentialist and...
Wow. What a poignant response. Hey, what'd you guys think of my use of poignant just then?
It was good.
I'm trying out big words these days.
Both just words that start with P and have a G in them.
Polyvagal is something you can do to calm yourself when you're having panic attacks.
Psychocoagulant.
Exactly.
Yes.
I don't know what that one means.
I think I just made that up. I don't know.
Several days later, Raymond, Meursault, and Marie go to a friend's beach house. They find a perfect pool under a rock and spend a lazy afternoon. On the way home, they encounter the Arabs. Raymond hands Meursault his pistol. A scuffle ensues. Raymond is injured, and the Arabs retreat. They continue walking home, but Meursault later returns alone, compelled by the oppressive heat and sun to return to the idyllic pool.
This is one thing I did relate to about this book, is Meursault just wants to swim at the beach all day long. That's like 90% of what he does, is he just goes and swims in the beach.
He loves to swim. He loves water.
To swim in the beach. He loves water, and I thought, that's awesome. That sounds really cool. Everything else about you I find repulsive, but you're a guy who likes to dip in the water, and so that's why they're always at the beach.
When he gets to the pool, and he's real upset about this heat. This is the first time he's never cared about anything, including his mom dying and his abusive neighbor, as much as he cares about how hot it is on this day. He's just really, really hung up on that. He finds Raymond's mistress's brother, though, at the pool. He's there. And he pulls a knife in preparation for some kind of kerfuffle, and he readies himself. The blazing sunlight glints off the knife into his eye. Meursault becomes disoriented. He's really hot. He's made this clear. And so he shoots the Arab one time. And after a pause, he fires 4 more times into the lifeless body, describing each successive shot as a loud, fateful rap on the door of his undoing, which I thought was a fun way to say it.
It was an interesting way to say it. Pretty brutal. He just shoots him 3 more times, and all we know is that he was hot, and the sun was shining bright, and that's all we know. So it's weird. It's uncomfortable.
Sometimes I feel that way on hot days.
Yeah, it's a great account. I didn't like this book, but like the way that
You don't say.
Yeah,
What?
sorry. But as I'm thinking about it, as we're talking about it, I'm like, but the way that he talks about his in moment perceptions of things and feelings about things is very fascinating.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And then it kind of leads to, I don't know why I didn't like it. Now I have to think about that. So continue.
This book had a strange effect on you.
Hey, it's working. I said I had 12 bullet points to get you to come around, and I'm starting to see it happen.
Yeah, bullet point 8. I'm like, fuck. Is this actually like a great work of art?
You're like, now that he's shot the guy, now that he's killed the guy for no damn reason, I kind of like
there's some action.
Yeah, it kind of does go from 0 to 100 real fast.
But
it sure does. Yeah, he shoots him.
It does do this, it describes that moment in such detail that it is the most interesting part of the book. I would say this book is very successful in putting you in his shoes and making you go through this story. Yeah, okay, it's a good book.
Wow.
There you go. We got there. I think if you were to ask any murderer what's the most exciting moment of your life, they're probably like, when I killed that guy.
When I murdered that guy, yeah.
Likely.
I'd be like,
Just saying.
Is the day I had pie on the beach and then murdered someone.
And then shot a guy 5 times. But what's crazy is the way he describes it. He's like, he reaches for the revolver in his pocket, and he's like, and I thought to myself, he's like, I remember thinking, it's not going to matter whether I shoot or don't shoot. It all sort of doesn't mean anything. And then when he says that he pulls the trigger, it doesn't say that he pulls the trigger. It says the trigger gave.
Yeah.
Which is a passive. He's almost saying like the gun.
He's an observer in his own life. Yeah.
Yeah. And he feels the recoil, and it's happening to him.
Book?
He's not something he's doing.
Yeah, it's interesting.
Is this a great book? Man, this is going exactly as I planned. So Merceau is arrested. During questioning, the authorities are baffled by his lack of motive or remorse. His indifference to religion particularly unsettles the magistrate, who refuses to accept that anyone could not believe in God, and even waves a crucifix at him and calls him the Antichrist.
Yeah, these interrogators they're not happy with him at all because they just want something from him. This is, in my opinion, this is where it got interesting. It got a lot more interesting because they're like, be this thing that we want you to be, and he's like, no, I'm just not gonna do it.
And the magistrate is the best. He's like, you killed somebody. That happens. We don't know for sure that you weren't defending yourself. It happens from time to time. Do you believe in God? And Merceau's like, no. And he's like, what the hell, dude?
He's like, you did it.
What? Are you kidding me right now?
He's like, murder, it's whatever. I'll take it or leave it. But if you don't believe in God, you're just a bad person. So.
Wow, you must be some kind of a deviant.
Yeah, and they try so hard and it just doesn't work, and they all leave frustrated.
Yeah. Yep. They pull out the things that they say, which is like, how could you possibly not believe in God when XYZ exists? And it's like, how are you going to argue with that?
How could you if you look at like the structure of an eye?
You know who else he gave eyeballs to? Crocodiles. And they eat kids all the time.
Flamingos. Anyways. Nobody talks about flamingos.
Nobody talks about flamingos. Not on my watch.
Except,
what do you mean nobody talks about flamingos?
Flamingos are like one of the most talked about birds. Completely unwarranted too, by the way.
Show me one scripture where they talk about flamingos. The most, like, in the olden days, they've been around for fucking forever.
No, it's not in scripture.
And,
you're cutting out.
Oh no, the audio.
He was making a point.
It was a good point too. Because it's true, flamingos are nowhere in there. This is my infallible proof that God doesn't exist. If there was a God, he would have talked about flamingos in the Bible.
He'd be like, guys, they're pink. How come you're not talking about them? What do you think of that? What other bird is
I stopped what I was doing to make a giant pink bird.
And you're not going to say anything about it?
Talk about that.
You're not going to put it in your scripture? How dare you?
Come on.
We'll give it like 5 minutes. Is that okay? Man, this is a good book, though. Interesting.
I'm telling you.
I want to get to the end because I want to disagree with you, Evan. Because I know we have.
I can't wait.
I know we have
Because you know who would disagree with Albert Camus? Dostoevsky.
Dostoevsky
And Tolstoy.
and Tolstoy and Kierkegaard.
Oh, yeah.
Kierkegaard was Christian. Isn't that so kind of?
so crazy. I don't understand. Because he's like the father of existentialism.
He's
too, and
the
I'm
main
like,
one.
I feel like Nietzsche makes so much more sense as an existentialist.
I think he does too. A lot of people say
It's bizarre.
existentialism goes out the window once you bring in God, but I disagree. That's okay.
I think God goes out the window once you bring in existentialism.
Okay, well, have fun rotting in hell,
What do you say
idiot.
about that? What do you think?
I say
What do
have
you
fun
say
rotting in
about
hell.
that, Kyle?
I say you're the Antichrist because you disagree with me.
Yeah.
They pull out the crosses with this guy, and he's like, "Okay,
What?
what?
What do you want to do? Hiss? Start smoking?
What do you want me to do?
Do you have any coffee?
Do you have any coffee with ice cream?"
I'm really craving a coffee with ice cream right now.
There he is.
He's back.
Phone died.
Do you remember
Where were we?
Where were you? You were making a point, Matt.
Something about
You
flamingos.
were flamingos.
Yeah, they never talk
I
about
don't-
flamingos. But
I don't think that's the point you were trying to
They
make.
never do.
anyways,
In court, the murder itself takes a back seat. Instead, the prosecutor focuses on Merceau's character. His failure to grieve at his mother's funeral, his casual behavior with Marie the next day, all of this is evidence of a monstrous moral emptiness.
Which I think is a stupid argument for a few reasons. Number one, like he killed the guy. He admitted to killing the guy. Why do you have to paint him as bad moral character when he admitted to killing the guy?
because there's various degrees of murder.
I guess so. So, but like murder is murder. Like he's going to jail. Pretty cut and dry to me.
Yeah, but the prosecutor's trying to make a name for himself.
Oh, okay.
And its court date is on the same day as a guy that killed his parents. And so the prosecutor doesn't want to be overshadowed by like the big ticket item.
Oh, it does make
the
that point.
card bout, as you would say. And so he's like, I'm gonna get the death penalty, and here's how I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna like attack his character.
Okay, that makes more sense. Thank you.
But like we know it was a crime of passion, but also this guy doesn't ever show passion. So
They just kind of run it.
you know what I mean? Like it could also like a crime of passion is a lesser degree of murder than like a sociopathic person murdered the shit out of some Arab.
Okay.
And the defense is gonna be like, the Arab pulled a knife. Like he was,
Which they should, but they don't
clearly-
talk about that much. Like they barely tap on that because they get so caught up in this idea of like proving that he's like an okay person.
Yeah, and he
Which
I love how it drives him crazy because he's like, they keep talking about how I was at my mom's funeral and what I did the next. He's like, what does that have to do with anything? He's like, I
But
killed
it
the
ends
guy.
up-
Why do they keep talking about this?
But
He
it's
is
everything.
just
It's
as
the character.
confused. Yeah, but
yes,
I love his reaction to it. He's just like, shut up. Who cares that I had a good day the next day and that I drank a lot of coffee with milk at my mom's funeral? BFD, I killed someone, but they really want to go after his character.
Yeah. Yeah, and the defense is doing the same. They fall into the prosecutor's trap by saying, "Well, no, he's okay. Look at this, and this." So they call witnesses, including the Undertaker and Marie, who were questioned not about the crime, but about Merceau's indifference. The jury condemns him not so much for murder as for not playing by society's emotional rules. He's found guilty and sentenced to death.
Yeah, and being sentenced to death in the 40s, that sucks. You're probably going to get shot or hung. No, not in
Guillotine.
this case.
They talk about the
Not in-
guillotine so much. I didn't realize.
You're still doing that shit?
They're the French, dude. They'll do it right now. They'll do it today.
Are you serious?
No, they don't do it today, but they would. They want to.
Yeah, I was very surprised because I'm like firing squad and hanging. But they're like, no, you're going to chop off your head in front of everybody. I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
That's
And Merceau's like pissed about it because he's like, in the Revolution days, they would put you up on like a big pedestal in front of everybody and you could at least go out with some dignity.
yeah.
And now it's just sitting there.
Yeah, it's just eye level. He's like, it's completely inappropriate.
Have some goddamn respect. All right. Well,
Murder me.
waiting.
Murder me. Kill me.
Let's make it a scene.
Come
a
on.
spectacle. So, awaiting execution, Merceau is visited by a chaplain who tells him that all men in his position, turn to God in their time of trouble. Marceau repeatedly rejects the chaplain's offers of faith, and the disturbed chaplain says he'll pray for him, which causes Marceau to snap and take him by the collar and scream at him that he needs no greater meaning than existence itself.
Which is powerful. The chaplain really does, like, he doesn't just, like, tell him once or twice to repent. He's, like, nagging the crap out of him. And
he won't leave him alone.
He really won't leave him alone, and it frustrated me. I'm like, dude, leave. He doesn't want you there. Just get out of here. And so obviously he snaps, but that to me is the most powerful moment in the book, is when he snaps and has that, I don't need anything other than the fact that I am existing.
He drops this line that I was like,
was it highlighted in your guys' versions? Because it was highlighted in mine, I think.
yeah, I think Kindle does that thing where they, so I don't know. I turned that off because I'm like, I'm going to make my own damn highlights. Don't tell me what to highlight, you know?
I had a hard
That's
copy
me.
of the book, and it smells so good.
Good.
It smells
All right,
good.
you're
Happy
better
for
than
you.
us.
No, I'm just saying this book smelled especially good for some reason. I don't know why.
Yeah, dude. Kyle just gets home after a long day of work, and he pulls out his book and he takes a big sniff, and then he sits on his hand.
He says so,
And then
and I'm like,
he
time to
starts
read
reading.
The Stranger.
Yeah, and as he's reading the book, he looks at his hand like, that's what you are.
That's what you are. You're a stranger to me.
This book is about you, buddy.
But he drops this line. The author drops this, or the Marceau, he's screaming at the chaplain. He's got him by the collar, which is a very emotional thing to do for a man who's being executed and accused of being emotionless, because it's not about what he's feeling. Okay, so the line, though, is he's like screaming in his face, and he says, all of your certainties are worth nothing compared to a strand of a woman's hair.
So this is where, Evan, you were like, this is a good book.
Yeah, this is the I started falling apart at this part. I was like, this is so good. This is, and specifically because, and I love Dostoevsky, but in the Brothers Karamazov, this is when the devil comes to talk to
Ivan.
the middle brother.
Yeah,
Ivan. Because the devil lays out this argument for like why everyone really is a Christian, if given enough time, which God has eternity. And so he's like, he doesn't need to get you right now. He's like, you will. This is like the inevitable course of the soul is towards God. And this is basically the antithesis of that, of saying like, I don't need a God to give my life meaning. Like just being with an actual real woman who I can touch means more to me than anything, any certainty you could give me that there's a God waiting for me.
very powerful.
Which I thought was beautiful. That's all. Anybody have anything to say to that? What are you going to say to that?
I was going to wait till the conclusion to dive into my rant, but I don't know.
Let's wrap it up,
Yeah.
and then I want to hear. Yes. So the stranger closes with Marceau awakening to a quiet morning. He can see the stars through his window, hear the faint sounds of the countryside, and smell the cool night air. As the sun rises, he hears the harsh sounds of people voyaging to a world that had ceased to concern him forever, is how it says it. In a moment of clarity, he embraces the, again quoting from the book, benign indifference of the world and feels at peace with life's meaninglessness. By accepting the absurd, he finally feels free. Okay, Kyle, let her rip.
No, here's my thing. Initially I said I fundamentally disagree with that. That's not true. I actually love the message here. I just think that there's more to it. And if you don't, that's fine. I think we need to really embrace the moment and the reality and the absurdness of life and not try to be elsewhere or live for something else. We need to be there and exist there. But I think, and this is more a Dostoevsky train of thought, is you can live in the mud and be in the mud, and no one portrays the human condition better than Dostoevsky. But there's that, but then there's also that hope and a belief in a higher power. And both those things can exist at the same time. And it's like, have you guys heard of the Stockdale paradox?
No. Is this Admiral Stockdale?
Yeah, Admiral Stockdale. So he was in the Vietnam War. He was tortured for a long, long time. And people are like, how did you survive? And he's like, you can't, I'm quoting, I'm just paraphrasing. He's like, you can't confuse the idea that like the hope that everything will be okay with like ignoring the present moment. You have to be fully present and acknowledge the present and acknowledge that things are really rough right now, but also have this like undeniable hope and faith that things will be okay. And I think there's more to it than just life is crazy and absurd and I have meaning in that. I personally think there's more to it. I think there's something bigger out there. I think Evan disagrees, and I think that's totally fine. I just that's my take on it. It's important though. The message in this book is important that you're missing out on life if you're not if you think you have certainty. You're missing out on existence and what it really is. My opinion is you should have that and you should focus on that. But there's also a hope in something greater than ourselves. That's Kyle. So I don't know.
And that's, I think, a thing I found, especially as we were talking about it, is that like his explosion at the Chamberlain at the end is where he realized that there, like through action, you kind of see that there is more. But like when you feel something more than you should, like when you, like he does, attack somebody and like have this explosion, you can see kind of this other side of like passivism where you're like, oh, through action there is like this, that like I can do more, I can be more, I can blah 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 blah. And I thought that was very interesting, where it's like we're using Evan as like this whipping horse for being like Evan probably,
No,
but like
do it.
he loses control, he sees what is out there, and I think that's what kind of the thing that kind of tickled my brain was like the once you kind of lose a little bit of control, or you feel something more than you think you should feel, you kind of like step outside of that mind, like your limitations of your brain, you kind of meet God, whatever it is.
That's an interesting take, because he does say that it's like after he lost it that he sort of has his epiphany.
And that's what made me think this is like a good book. Is I was like, oh, that's how I feel about some stuff.
Yeah, and I feel like I might have been speaking for you. I don't know what you think on this, and I also don't think there's a right or wrong answer. I think certainty is dangerous and scary, and I crave it as an anxious human being. Like I spend most of my time trying to like adapt without certainty because that's what life is. So I think that the message of the book is very, very powerful. I personally think there's more to it than what we have, and I think if we can lean into the mystery, we'll find peace and hope. And that's just how I feel right now, though. But I'm ever evolving in my beliefs and stuff. So I'm curious, Evan, what you think of that and everything.
Oh yeah. I think it's fascinating that so his whole like spiel to the Chamberlain when he's yelling at him, I was like, this is the most succinct and I think poetic I've heard some of my own worldviews put, where it's like, compare all your certainty of things you can't see with a strand of a woman's hair, right? That's something that, like, you know, strand of a woman's hair, I think stands as a proxy for like everything that I love, that I'm like, I think it's okay to love this. I don't need to think of like my life as some transitory testing period that's supposed to suck really bad so that you can get to some perfect eternity later. I'm like, I love the world quite a bit. I love what there is. I think there's beauty to be found. And I think you're wasting your time if you're putting off your happiness until some later future time that may or may not, that you can't have certainty no matter how hard you try. So that's, I thought he put that beautifully. And I think it's fascinating that it came from a character who's currently on death row for murdering someone because he's such a passive piece of shit. And I just thought, it's like that. I think there's like a message there that, like, Kyle, to your point, that like, if that's all you have is nothing matters except for like what I feel in the moment and what I think is great, that maybe you do find some meaning, some peace. Really, he's at peace at the end. Maybe you do find that, but like, what are you gonna do to make the world a better place? Are you missing an essential ingredient that allows you to like not be a piece of shit?
Yeah,
know? And maybe that's where faith comes in. Some belief, some willingness or space, making space inside yourself for like, there might be something, some ideal to aspire to. Maybe what he's trying to do is both serve it to the people who are so certain about their faith while also saying, okay, but don't get carried away, because if this is all you have, you're not going to be a good person. I don't know. Maybe.
Yeah, and they
now I'm like feeling something from this book that I didn't think about is like the things that he does love, he describes the best. The book,
Yeah.
like the things that are good.
Boobs.
He loves boobs. He loves swimming.
He loves coffee with ice cream.
yeah.
You notice that like the difference is not like you think it's going to be some big ethereal, oh, there's going to be a shining light behind it thing, but like he can describe in great detail the things he likes the best. But I don't know what Raymond looks like really.
Yeah, it's
know?
interesting, and he's very content. And there's a point in the book we didn't talk about where his boss is like, "Hey, man, I want to give you a promotion, and you're going to be able to travel the world and do all these things." He's like,
Yeah.
"No, I'm good here, man." Like he's living this life that I think a lot of people in a lot of religions aspire to. He's just finding peace, and he's like, I'm finding peace in each moment. I'm finding peace in what I enjoy, and I think that's important. And I think you need both. In my opinion, you need both. You need to find peace in the moment, and you also need to have this hope that things are going to be okay. But you can't have one outweigh the other, because if to Stockdale's point, Admiral Stockdale's point, if you only have hope that things are going to get better, you're going to be ruined, because the people who were in the prisoner of war camp, all the people who were like, I'm going to be released by Christmas, and it didn't happen, they were shattered and they died. So you have to be aware of the present, love it for what it is, and like lean into it, but then also have hope. I need to stop talking about my personal philosophy, because that's not what the book is saying. The book is saying,
I think it
is though.
it kind of
like,
is.
This is.
I think you're actually, that's correct.
It is, but I think Camus, because he even wrote about Dostoevsky, and he thought that that's where Dostoevsky got it wrong, is that he leaned into the abyss, but then he kind of copped out by having a belief in God. And you can believe that. I mean, there's an argument to be made. That's not how I feel about it, though. But I think the important thing is that you need to be in the abyss and feel it, and that's how you're going to have a rich, full life. If you're looking forward to what's going to happen next, you don't know what's going to happen next. And so you're not living life, and you're missing out. And that's the sad thing. And I think that's what this book illustrates well.
This is such like an intimate tale of somebody who feels like, from a writer, feels like they're just writing about something. And then they realize like, oh, the moment that I felt the most alive is where I stopped just writing about it and I like participated. And those are the parts of the book that pop out the most. Oh, fuck. Is this an amazing book?
It's a really good book.
I think
it's a really good book.
I think it might be.
No, this is like such a good. I did not feel any of this when I was reading it, but now talking about it with you guys, I'm like, oh, this is like. But I think that's
a good one.
Evan, I feel like you're a little more heady than me and Kyle are, but like you conceptualized something that we both were just like, oh no, we don't like.
I didn't.
Kyle's like, let's not give Evan too much credit.
Yeah, I want to give Evan all the credit. But I appreciate the book. I think it's a necessary book. I think everyone who, honestly, I think if you have a belief in a higher power, you should read this book, because I think it's important to challenge that to some degree, and to see what life is like from the standpoint of someone who just won't, who doesn't believe that way. So I think it's a very important book that is necessary, especially in the world we live in now. Holy crap, maybe more necessary now than ever before. In my opinion, it's not, I don't want to say this because I love the book, it's not full. It's missing something, and that's because there's this lack of morality to it. And to me, that's important. And so, but that's not what Camus was trying to do. He wasn't trying to make a book that encompassed everything.
Yeah.
So,
and we could talk about this. I literally could talk about this forever.
Yeah.
At some point, we should
probably cut. Yeah.
I would love to just follow this for forever and ever, because I think you also get into like Hegelian philosophy with the dialectic, and like the idea that you so often you do need both. Anyways, I said I was gonna like pivot, and then I was like Hegel. Though I'm gonna throw in a little, a little Hegel, and then we're gonna wrap it up.
Right on us, man.
So I couldn't,
all over us.
couldn't help myself.
Just
Hegel.
squeezing your vaginal walls.
Oh, it's a Kegel joke.
Thank you. I said Kegel 3 times, and there was nothing.
I don't know what either of those words mean, so I don't know.
Vaginal walls.
What's that?
So it's the walls of a woman's vagina. Okay. So what?
Still
women. So what?
So you sit on your hand.
There's a thing that
Okay,
women can do when they
Okay, now I'm getting
exercise, where they just squeeze their.
Got it. Kyle gets it.
No,
now.
I know, guys. I know what it is.
Well, book in one word, really quick. I'm gonna say profound.
Okay, I agree.
Is that the word? It was okay.
No, that's great. No. I'm trying to think of a word. I like your word.
Is that an okay word?
Okay.
Surprising.
Thoughtful. I want to say thought-provoking, but thoughtful. It really makes you think, and that's important. There's space for all these books. There's space for Dungeon Crawler Carl, and then there's space for this book that is just like purely trying to illustrate absurdism and existentialism to some degree. Yeah, I just like I can't emphasize that enough, that like it takes all kinds and we need all kinds, and I do think everyone should read this book. And it's short, so like what's stopping you?
Yep. We did skip the part where at the end Merceau receives a dexterity boost from a sponsor box, and then freaking just
and his head is fine.
weasels his way right out of the guillotine.
And then his numb hand just leads him to play the town.
God damn it. All right, so read it yourself or leave it on the shelf. Read it yourself. It's short enough. You gotta read it. You owe it to yourself. Especially if you're a kind of person who thinks that if you can't believe in God, you can't feel happy. Read the book. It'll at the very least explain how.
Yeah.
From the perspective of a death row inmate that definitely deserves to be
exactly.
one. But,
it's interesting. And as someone who does believe in God, I think that is objective. Like, you read the book for that reason Evan said. Like, you need it. It's important.
I wouldn't I'm not going to recommend it to anybody, but I also wouldn't say like leave it on the shelf. I wouldn't say. I'm like in the middle. I'm like, if you see it and you're like, oh, that's a cool cover,
take it off the shelf from time to time and consider reading it, and then put it back.
Yeah, this isn't like if you're on a desert island and you're never going to be rescued. This is not the book to bring.
No. Okay, another book in the books. Big thank you to Albert Camus for writing this book and using words to describe the meaninglessness of life and the beauty therein. Thank you to our sponsor, my sister, Jenna Cannell.
Thank you, Jenna.
Thank you for manning the producer booth in this episode, as well as supporting us financially.
Are you supporting us financially?
She is now.
We appreciate that very much.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Jenna.
We'll send you a Venmo.
No, she's sending us Venmos. She's supporting us financially, which is great.
Yeah, so we sent her a Venmo. We'll figure it out.
We'll square up later. All right. Follow the show on Spotify if you want to know about future episodes. Follow us on Instagram at Bibliophools if you want to go behind the scenes a little bit. And if you have a book that you want us to read, so you don't have to, email us at bibliophools@gmail.com. Parting advice from Kyle. Let's hear it.
Yeah, live in the moment. Don't ignore the moment. Embrace the moment. And hope for the best. Much easier said than done, but give it a shot.
Just do it.
Try it.
Try it.
Give it a try.
Give it a shot.
Try it
It's
out.
great.
That'd be great.
Like if you want.
Well, we'll see you next week.
Thanks.